Hi guys, Rap Critic here, and it's about that time to get into some of the worst lyrics I just happened to hear in the last couple of weeks.
Wow, I see YouTube money doesn't go far in Harlem. Also, do you have your own merchandise in the background? How narcissistic.
I won't judge, no.
So this song is called HOE, which here is an anagram for happiness over everything.
Rap critic, please open a dictionary because that's not a anagram, that is a acronym. A anagram is when you take a pre-existing word and then make it into another word. Like the word cinema can be turned into the word Iceman, or the word God could be turned into the word dog. A acronym is what you meant. Like, the acronym for, let's see, the acronym for NASA is like North American Space Association or some shit like that. I would like oversee it, but you're kind of like the rap genius or rap critic, and you're just nitpicky like that. So I'm gonna do it back to you.
In which she, oddly enough, takes its lyrics from a skit off of the Outkast Love Below album.
I hope she don't think that I think that she's some kind of hoe. I don't care, that just lets me know that she knows what she wants, yeah.
He gonna think I'm a hoe.
I know she think I just think she's some kind of hoe. I don't give a shit about giving it up on the first night. That just let me know she know what she want out of life.
Actually, that's not odd because Future Vandross is part of the Dungeon family. And you know who was in the original Dungeon family? Outkast! Outkast was in the original Dungeon family. And you know who's in the present Dungeon family? Like the one after like the 2000s? Future! And he also from Atlanta, so they have that connection too. So it's actually not that odd that he would sample somebody from the Dungeon family. Quite frankly, like basically musical kin at this point, if you actually did your research. But I mean, how can you call this the 5 dumbest lyrics? And right off the bat, you sound like you're ignorant, like some ignorant suburban white guy. Not that there's any problem with being a suburban white guy. Now, ignorant, that's just full of problems. But still, I mean, just do your research, buddy.
Flipping the sample as a way to assert her control over her own sexual autonomy as a woman. A message that I'm sure will in no way be undermined by the dick-waving swagger of a future guest verse.
They misunderstood me when they say I'm Jesus Christ.
And of course, he just... Wait, what?
They misunderstood me when they say I'm Jesus Christ.
Jeez, I was expecting misogyny, not fucking blasphemy. But okay, what was the message that was apparently misinterpreted when you, called yourself Jesus Christ? What possible misunderstanding could be taking place that doesn't lead down a cult of future rabbit hole?
I just want you to worship me. I like what I like.
Okay, that doesn't make it sound better. You know, you keep going on about how people don't understand you, but I think I'm a little too clear on what you're saying here, and it's making me kind of concerned. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'm getting it all confused. I mean, he said it's a misunderstanding, right? So maybe this desire to be worshipped like Jesus Christ isn't a weird, possibly cough syrup-related death cult. And it's actually just some innocent, non-cult-related Jesus Christ sex role-playing.
Look, this line is pretty much standard, like, hip-hop braggadocio. But what, like, Future's saying when he says that he's Jesus Christ, he's not literally saying he's Jesus Christ. He's using Jesus Christ as a metaphor for how he's the savior of the rap game. And whether you agree with that or not is just some standard hip-hop braggadocio. Hell, Tupac, he actually put himself on the cross on his last album well, you know, 7 Day Theory was, you know, his last planned album, I should say, but still, you know, shoot, Jay-Z called himself Jehovah, Jay Electronica, he compares himself to God, Allah, a bunch of people. So this is just standard hip-hop braggadocio. You don't have to take it literally, and it actually supports the whole idea of why this line is clever and why many people would take it like as a misunderstanding, which supports why he even said that. But yeah, you know.
Yes, sir.
So, this is the intro to the Carter 3, Lil Wayne's most commercially successful, and by some people's measure, best album. And even I can admit, there are a couple of gems on this album, but it's got some undeniably clunky punchlines that it's hard to sit through. Like, people try to spin the fact that he freestyled this album or didn't write anything down to his credit, but it's kind of hard for that to not feel like it's to its detriment when you get to lines like the one that opened the actual album.
They can't stop me, even if they stopped me.
A lyrical genius, ladies and gentlemen. That's not even the clunkiest play on words on this song alone. It dude literally sounds like he's going in circles at some points.
Me, you watch me, you watch me, bitch watch me, bitch watch me.
You know, Wheezy, I think we got...
So my interpretation of why Lil Wayne was being so repetitious on the Carter 3 is probably representative of the album cover. It has a baby, and what are babies known for? Doing the same thing over and over again. So I think it was like, you know, a representative of how he's, even though he's a veteran, he's still new to the game, and he could birth like new styles. Plus he was watering down and making his shit into pop anyway. And this was the peak of him being pop. So yeah, that's kind of like my interpretation. But hey, I guess if you don't like repetency and stuff like that, then you won't like the Carter 3. But later on in this video, you do talk about punk, and what's more repetitive than punk?
Aw man, here's yet another steamy sex jam between Jay-Z and Beyonce, the music world's power couple, committing some PDA to wax as they sing about how much they just can't wait to ravish each other. Well, goddamn, Jay-Z, let me finish the description.
On sight, catch a charge, I might beat the box up like Mike. In 97, I bite.
Oh, okay. So, Mike Tyson reference, especially after mentioning catching a charge, that's a little awkward, but hey, maybe they just have that humor with each other, you know, skirting up right to the line of...
I'm Ike, turn up, baby, no, I don't play. Now eat the cake, anime, said eat the cake, anime.
Oh. So, for those who somehow aren't aware, this is a reference to a really cruel scene in that Tina Turner biopic where Ike mushes her face in cake in public because he's jealous of her getting more famous than him. I mean, on movie title alone, this ain't exactly the film to bring up when you're trying to be romantic. Like, come on, man, think through these references.
Okay, Jay-Z went into huge trouble for referencing two domestic violence abusers, I guess. And, you know, Mike was arrested for even rape and convicted. So, but yeah, when he talks about like Mike Tyson and the box, of course, Mike Tyson boxed in a boxing ring, and the box could be representative of the ring. Also, the box could be representative of Beyonce's like vag. And usually when you have sex, sometimes you bite, and maybe Beyonce likes biting, or, you know, maybe she likes like rough sex. But yeah, when he talks about catching a charge, this could be an allusion to him having sex on a beach, which, you know, is a offense. And also with the whole like Ike thing, I guess like Ike and Mike rhyme, and you know, he already referenced a domestic abuser. Why not reference another one? At least he referenced Ike Turner, who arguably created rock and roll. And Tina Turner later on admitted that she exaggerated in the movie, exaggerated her abuse. So yeah, that's one thing. And hey, the cake could be in reference to like a vagina again. So that's how I see it. That's how I like view the whole referencing and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. And also, Tupac, one of the last things he did on this earth was see the Mike Tyson fight. And, Tupac and Jay-Z were beefing a long time ago. So, yeah.
Yo, I know there's a lot of MCs, but just give me my chance on the mic.
Okay, I guess your boy Wyclef feels like proving himself today. I mean, for the most part, he usually has the energy of a dying blobfish, but hey, maybe in his earlier stuff he had a bit more ambition. So hey, look out, this isn't gonna be your average Wyclef verse.
Open the safe with no key. It's easier than battling me, cause I'll make you walk like a donkey.
Excuse me?
Some say on and on, but they mean
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Look, the whole donkey reference could be because in the beginning of the track he acted like a jackass. I don't know. Honk honk. But yeah, back then they used to have all types of strange styles. This was like in the early 90s. I heard like weirder like ways to express yourself. But hey.
Feels more like he's just kind of slowly going insane.
I got tired of that new style breakdown.
Oh, this sounds like a breakdown, all right. Man, if this is him trying, then I really think I might be okay if he stopped.
This could be a reference to Daylight Soul's breakdown. It also could be a reference to how, the album was called like Blunted on Reality. So it was a reference to like weed and shit like that. Maybe he got a bad dose which caused him to act crazy and, think he's a donkey. But hey, not the most weirdest weed story I ever heard, but whatever.
I want it that way. I want it that way.
So, in case your brain is refusing to believe it, yes, this is Lil Uzi Vert sampling a Backstreet Boys song. And if I were to talk about the bizarre songwriting choices in that song, we'd be here all day.
I never wanna hear you say, I want it that way.
I'm sorry, is one of the biggest teeny bopper songs of all time essentially about how a guy doesn't want to hear what his girlfriend likes?
I'm sorry, but no, the song is about not accepting or do not want to accept that your girlfriend wants to split apart. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartbreak. This is, I swear to you, this is the second most perverted, like, people like to pervert like teeny bopper songs from the 90s. This is the second most perverted teeny bopper song from the 90s. The first is that song by the Spice Girls where they say, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Talking about how you have to chill out and you have to hang out with all her friends. But people's like, oh, she wants a three-way. Oh, yeah, I'll get with your friends. Like, come on.
But okay, it's a pretty cheesy sample choice, but hey, maybe if you play into it, it could work, right?
They laugh at me because I'm emo.
Oh, so sampling the Backstreet Boys, that's emo? Not Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco, no.
Wait, Fall Out Boy is not emo. Neither is Panic at the Disco. Fall Out Boy is pop punk at best, and Panic at the Disco is like alternative or indie. When I think of emo, I think like Weezer or American Football. Those are emo bands, not fucking those people. Next thing you're gonna tell me Billie Eilish is emo, like, ugh.
No, you chose to rep the emo label while sampling literally the most sunshiny 90s bubblegum pop song this side of a radio Disney channel? You want to sample Zippity Doo-Dah while you're at it? Oh, and if you thought he was going to use such a recognizable cheery sample to make some kind of love song, you were quite mistaken.
When I kill my girlfriend, that's why I'm single.
And he's back on the market, ladies. Don't break a finger now rushing to flood his DMs.
Look, I don't care what y'all say. When like Lil Uzi Vert first came out, he was pretty fucking emo. Why? Because he was himself. Like, to be like from Philly, one of the toughest cities in the world, and still have like multi-colored dreads and rock a purse. like that shit, when it first came out, and sing and have more of a melody to your like vocals than rapping fast. When that first came out, that was like emo as fuck. Now it's pretty like standard, but still, when that Versus the World tape came out, it just rocked people. Old heads were pissed off, everything. So that was pretty emo of him to do. And he's making fun of how, you know, people just, how criticism and people criticize him obsessing over, you know, these bitches. Stuff like that. So it was a little bit of exaggeration, but it worked.
Can't call 911 cause I'm in Reno. Give away my thumbs and I stood 3 toes.
I so many questions. Why would you give away your thumbs? And what does that have to do with your toes? Isn't the phrase 10 toes down? Does he only have 3 toes? Is he an alien? Why doesn't he think he can call 911 in Reno? Did he think Reno 911 was a documentary?
Alright, so let me start with the Reno line. So he's doing a flip on the whole quote of "I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die" by Johnny Cash, except he did it where he shot a bitch in Reno, and now he can't call the police. So that's it. And since Lil Uzi Ferb is the GOAT, and GOAT have 4 hooves, he already gave away his middle fingers because he don't give a fuck. And he's giving away his toes, he's giving away his thumbs, I should say, because he treated this bitch like a dog. And dogs have like 4, like like 3 paws, I meant. So that's the whole like reference to the thing. So he went from a mere human to a goat to a dog because he killed a bitch. So it's pretty complicated, but yeah, it's like that. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, you know. And if you like this video, share it. I'm just sick of like explaining these genius like you know, lyrics and stuff like that.